Hello everybody and welcome to the channel. So today we are going to talk about some very important topics, and we are first going to talk about Felipe Coutinho. So according to Alfredo Martinez, he stated that Coutinho can return to Barcelona ahead of time. Bayern are not going to activate his buyout clause. His contract expires on June 30 and he could return to Barcelona imminently. Barcelona can even register him in the league if UEFA allows it, which is true, right? Because if Coutinho does return on June 30th, he will be able to play at least half of the remaining games that FC Barcelona have. Because on June 12th, we finally have that date where La Liga did announce that that will be the date to kick off all of the matches. And since we are talking about the matches, I really want to talk about what Barcelona's first game is going to look like. And says right here, according to Sport, Barcelona will take on RCD Mallorca on Sunday the 14th, and the preferred time for the game is 7:30 p.m. although it can even be played on 9:30 p.m. The schedule will be very intense in the coming weeks. But with that being said, right, it is clear that with Coutinho being left out of Bayern Munich by June 30th, you can tell that Bayern Munich really do want Coutinho out from the team. And if he does get registered for the league, because this is a what if, right? There's not a 100% chance that Coutinho can be registered for the league. This is like, this could happen, but what if, right? What if he does get registered for the league? Could this actually be a time for him to really redeem himself and say, okay, I'm here back at Barcelona and this is what I'm going to do this time? And who would have thought, right? Who would have thought that this pandemic has really granted him an opportunity to get a second chance at FC Barcelona? And if Setien does give him the opportunity to actually play in those remaining games, and he does play well in the remaining games, should Barcelona keep Coutinho? Because there's always going to be this what if, right? What if Coutinho does play well and Setien unlocks his full potential right next to De Jong and Arthur? Like, what if it does actually work? And the one thing that I really do want to point out is that if Coutinho reaches the 100 game mark with Barcelona, Barcelona will need to pay 20 million euros to Liverpool. And at the moment, Coutinho has 76 games with Barcelona, meaning that he needs 24 more games in order to reach those 100 games with Barcelona. And those 24 games can be reached in one season. So if Barcelona do decide to keep Coutinho, they will need to pay 20 million next season. And right now, Barcelona are in a moment where they do need to gain more funds. They can't be paying 20 million to Liverpool right now, because that is the last thing that they want to do. And we can see here, according to ESPN, Barcelona are racing against the clock to bring in 70 million euros in player sales before the end of June to balance the club's account. And this is why I'm saying that Barcelona paying 20 million to Liverpool is the last thing they want to do. And let alone that Barcelona have to pay Coutinho's wages, which is going to be 12 million a year. But then again, I'm going to bring in the what if, right? What if Coutinho does turn out to be a success if he does come to FC Barcelona? And that is what makes this decision so complex for the club. And his contract does expire in 2023, so he does have a long contract with Barcelona. And if anything, if Coutinho were to be sold, if Barcelona do decide to sell him now, it would not be for that much, maybe 60 million or 50 million and 70 million at best. But if Coutinho were to play well this summer with Barcelona and have a successful season next season until 2021, then Barcelona can sell Coutinho for a higher price, maybe 75 and maybe even to 90 million euros. So there are a lot of pros if Coutinho does play well for FC Barcelona if he comes back. But that's going to be all up to Quique Setien. He's going to need to do massive work in order to make this work. And with Coutinho playing well, this is not only going to bring success to Barcelona, but it is also going to be a success on the transfer market. Barcelona would have a chance to sell Coutinho for even more, which is in the summer of 2021. And if Coutinho plays well with these remaining games that Barcelona have in La Liga, the chances of Coutinho playing at this club is going to increase. And ultimately, I think it's going to come down to three different options for Barcelona. And the first option is going to be for Barcelona to retain Coutinho. The only gamble Barcelona is going to take is he can either play the exact same last time he played for the club, which is not good, or play extremely well under Quique Setien and he finds his form and he proves to everyone why he was worth that 140 million euros. The second option Barcelona could go for is simply just sell Felipe Coutinho. But the main problem with this option is who's going to pay what Barcelona is currently asking for. And if he's going to be sold, it's going to be no more than 70 million euros, which is literally going to be half of what Barcelona paid for 2 years ago. But then again, it could all look like on how Barcelona look at this. They can say, at least we got 70 million and we got something to balance the books this summer. Or they could look at it like, we only got half of what we paid for Coutinho 2 years ago. So it's all going to depend on how Barcelona see this sale. Now, the third option that Barcelona could have this summer for Coutinho is to loan out Coutinho to a Premier League club. So this could be the third option for Philippe Coutinho, which is to loan him out for another year, but not at Bayern, but at a Premier League club with a mandatory option to buy. But the only problem with this option is that Barcelona won't accumulate any cash for Coutinho this summer. But those are the three options for Philippe Coutinho. And let me know what you guys think. Do you guys believe that Coutinho can actually redeem himself at the club if he's given the chance to play the remaining league games at Barcelona? Or do you think that Coutinho should be sold because Barcelona really need the money? Now moving on to the next topic of the day, and we are going to talk about Emerson. According to Mundo Deportivo, Barcelona have informed Real Betis that they would like Emerson to stay at the Real Betis side for another season. After the 2020-2021 season, Barcelona plan on incorporating him if there's not an extremely good offer for the Brazilian by then. And there has been a very big debate going on in Barcelona, and that is, should Emerson come to Barcelona this summer? Because honestly, so far at Real Betis, Emerson has had a very decent start at La Liga. And if Barcelona were to review his stats and really look into detail on how good Emerson has been at Real Betis, we can see that as a right back in 24 matches with Real Betis, he has provided 3 goals and 5 assists in his first season in the Spanish league. And so without a doubt, seeing these stats and seeing how young Emerson is, we know for a fact that the club is extremely invested in Emerson. And we know that they are closely monitoring him game by game, because Emerson right now can either turn into a really good right back or turn into a very decent right back. Now, I think what Barcelona is going to do with this player is that they're going to say, okay, let's see what Emerson can do for the next season. Can he keep up these numbers next season with Real Betis? And I believe that with this move, with Barcelona giving Emerson another season with Real Betis, Barcelona is going to put themselves in a win-win situation. And the reason why I'm saying that is because if Emerson does end up playing well with Real Betis next season, and he proves why he's one of the best right backs in the world, by the end of that season, which will be in 2021, multiple clubs are going to come in to Barcelona and say, we will bid 30 to 35 million for this player. And Barcelona is going to see this as a massive profit, because last year in January of 2019, Barcelona purchased Emerson for 12 million euros. But then again, if Emerson continues to grow and he proves why he deserves to be at FC Barcelona, Barcelona can simply pay Real Betis the 6 million to bring back Emerson and use him in the squad, and we can see Emerson excel at FC Barcelona. And that is why I say that Barcelona are putting themselves in a very good situation, and that is why we are seeing Barcelona making the decision of letting Emerson stay at Real Betis for another season. And Emerson has already expressed his desire to come to Barcelona as soon as possible, like he wants to come this summer and represent this badge. And with Emerson showing these type of numbers and publicly stating that he wants to come to Barcelona, we should really expect great things from this player, and that could be at either Barcelona next season or at Real Betis next season. Now moving on to the last topic of the day, and we are going to talk about Garcia Pimienta. According to Jared Romero, he said that Barcelona hopes to close the renewal of Garcia Pimienta with the B team soon. And if you guys don't know who Garcia Pimienta is, he is the coach for Barcelona B. And before I go further into that, I do also want to quickly talk about the rest of the teams like Juvenil A, Juvenil B. Barcelona have announced the renewal of all coaches in La Masia, and they also released the names for the upcoming season. But as for Garcia Pimienta, everybody is expecting a renewal from him, and by no doubt do I think that Garcia Pimienta should continue to lead Barcelona B, because I really want to take a moment to actually appreciate what Garcia has done for this club, and most importantly Barcelona B, because he does really handle this academy well. And I know that many of you guys are not that familiar with Garcia Pimienta, but since he took over in 2018, he was really able to transition a lot of players well into the first team. So he was responsible to really bring out Carlos Elena, Ricky Puig, Miranda, Carlos Perez, Marc Cucurella, Oriol Busquets, and Weg. So for those of you guys who do know these list of players, Garcia Pimienta is that guy to really develop them and have them ready and to really give them a chance to have an appearance into the first team. Now, I know that most of these players have not really established themselves in the first team, but once they do hit that first team, that's going to be out of Pimienta's control. We know how badly the sporting directors and the board handle these youngsters, but just seeing how Garcia Pimienta has produced many of these players, we can say that many of these players on this list are very decent, if not superb players. And again, the only problem is that Barcelona board are using these youngsters to either sell them for profit or put them out on loan because they don't think that they're ready. But besides that, Garcia Pimienta is doing a wonderful job. I'm liking how frequent he's producing these players, and hopefully we can see Quique Setien talk with Garcia Pimienta and have an agreement that maybe Carlos Elenia could be used in the first team next season, and maybe even Ricky Puig and Marc Cucurella. We also have Garcia Pimienta ready to transition Alex Collado and Monchu into the first team, so it's very excited. Garcia Pimienta is doing his job very well, and I really want to thank him for really producing these players and making a name for La Masia. So that is it for today's Barcelona Daily News. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.